the Sustainable Sharon presentation talked about the lack of recycling at the end of the 8 years, 10 years of usage. What is out there? What does the future look like on recycling?
That's an excellent question. First of all, I can't speak to exact numbers, but a lot of times, typically the most expensive component in the field is the shock pad. The shock pad will last 2 life cycles, possibly 3. And when I tell field owners, when they're like, Brock said they'll take it back at the end of life, I laugh. That's like someone saying, your big stock of aluminum, when you're done with it, we'll take it back for free. No, it has value. It can be recycled, not downcycled, but turned into new products made of polypropylene. I think that it's possible that David even underestimated the cost because of the Brock fill and the sand, because it is Brock's current position that you don't need to dispose of the sand or the Brock fill at end of life. That there's ways of collecting it, removing it, separating it, making sure you get the right particle size distribution and putting it back. But even if you don't, it's not hard to find uses for semi-rounded sand, nor is it hard to find uses for wood mulch. Carpet's a little bit more difficult. The current situation, unfortunately, is worse than most people think. I've seen some slides about it. I've looked into this. A lot of times when people say, we will pay us, we'll take your turf, and we'll sell it to other people who want to have a yard or something like that, almost never does that happen. They landfill it, they dump it, they take your money, and they run. Some companies like Shaw have proposed thermal decomposition, basically burning the carpet to make energy. We don't allow that in San Francisco. That is specifically called out, not in the specs. There are other options. If you have a very, very strongly worded recycling component in your technical specs, there are projects right now where you can ship it off, not in the United States, but ship it out with chain of custody, and it will take the field and turn into synthetic lumber. I personally don't recommend that to my clients, and I'm going to say something which will probably piss off a lot of people. My recommendation to clients, at least as of 2019, is to landfill it, because you're not dumping it in the environment. Landfills are built to protect the environment. On top of that, you can use the turf carpet as what's called alternative daily cover. Every day at a landfill, they have to put down something. Whether it's dirt, whether it's some other kind of waste, but something that's approved to basically keep birds from going off it, keep wind from blowing stuff. And you're not filling up the landfill with waste. Something's going to go in there anyways. But it is unsatisfying that we take so much energy to turn petroleum into plastic and then waste it like that. The future, currently right now, I think that what David is speccing is good. The next round, it's possible that there are going to be new carpets out there which don't contain all these different kinds of polymers. There's just one. There's like 2 products out there right now which use a lot. They're woven, is it polypropylene? Woven polyethylene. They're brand new products, but those can be recycled. But once again, it's still. I'm a firm believer of recycling when it makes sense to recycle, but the goal, once again, is hours of play, safety. Hopefully things will get better, but it's the alternative that's been put out is much better than just if the sheer tonnage of crumb rubber that you would be dumping. That's kind of obscene. So it's not as nice a picture as we would like to say. It's not as bad as people think, but I don't think I will disagree not based on fact, but just based on hope that this will change. And the reason I think it's going to change is not in the United States, but in the EU, there's a lot of regulations coming on very quick about recycling and about microplastics. And companies are not likely to come up with products that are spec'd only for one part. You want one SKU that is global. So I think we're going to see a change.
Okay, thank you. We'll just take